The video begins with a world map highlighting former superpower territories. Territories once controlled by Spain are prominently featured. The map also displays the vast territories of the British Empire. Areas formerly under Soviet Union influence are highlighted. The video emphasizes the historical superpower status of these nations. Imperial collapse often starts with economic exhaustion, not military defeat. Superpowers tend to overextend their resources and commitments. This overextension leads to unsustainable financial burdens. Economic exhaustion weakens the state's ability to maintain power. Ultimately, this can trigger a decline in global influence and eventual collapse. The visualization depicts the global distribution of over 150 military bases. These bases are spread across various countries and continents. The extensive network illustrates the concept of military overextension. This overextension can strain resources and complicate strategic objectives. Resource misallocation occurs as empires decline. This misallocation leads to a shrinkage of productive capacity. Declining productivity is a key indicator of this process. A graph visually represents this decline in productivity. Brain drain refers to the emigration of highly skilled or educated individuals. This often involves professionals seeking better opportunities abroad. The animated map visually represents the flow of these skilled workers. This immigration can lead to a significant loss of talent in the origin country. Countries experiencing brain drain may face hindered economic and social development. Political alliances are undergoing significant shifts. Former allies begin to change their allegiances. Existing enemies are testing the strength of borders. These actions indicate a weakening superpower. A political map visually represents these changing alliances. A reserve currency's weakening can trigger capital flight. Capital flight involves investors rapidly selling assets. This selling pressure increases the currency supply. Increased supply leads to a decrease in currency value. Forex charts visually represent this declining value. The global military footprint is becoming increasingly unsustainable. This unsustainability transforms former advantages into vulnerabilities. Resource depletion and environmental impact contribute to the problem. Geopolitical tensions exacerbate the challenges of maintaining a large presence. Adapting to a more sustainable approach is crucial for long-term security. Political promises are intended to inspire confidence and support. They represent a commitment to specific actions if elected. However, unfulfilled promises can damage public trust. When promises are not kept, they become empty words. This erosion of trust can lead to cynicism and disengagement. Accountability is key to maintaining faith in political systems. Spain's empire declined due to decisions mirroring those of the modern United States. A key factor was the overestimation of their power's permanence. This overconfidence led to strategic miscalculations and overextension. Such parallels serve as a cautionary tale for contemporary global powers. History suggests that perceived invincibility can lead to downfall. Following Columbus, Spain exploited gold and silver mines in the Americas. Silver became a primary resource extracted by the Spanish. By 1550, silver extraction reached approximately 200 tons annually. Silver extraction continued to increase significantly. By 1600, the annual silver extraction had risen to 400 tons. This massive influx of silver had substantial economic impacts. The Spanish real once served as a global reserve currency. It exerted control over Europe's money supply at the time. This dominance ultimately set the stage for economic collapse. Its role highlights the complexities of historical monetary systems. Spain engaged in widespread conflicts across multiple regions. Battles ranged from the Ottoman Empire to the Netherlands. By 1580, Spanish armies were deployed on 4 continents. This vast military presence strained Spanish resources. Spain allocated a significant portion of its government revenue to the military. Approximately half of Spain's government revenue was directed towards military spending. This substantial investment was primarily intended to sustain Spain's ongoing wars. Despite the large allocation, military funds were insufficient to cover war expenses. This shortfall indicates potential financial strain due to military commitments. Spain debased its currency by mixing silver coins with copper. This action reduced the silver content while maintaining face value. The debasement led to inflation as more coins circulated. This also caused distrust in the currency's real value. Currency debasement led to a price explosion in Spain. Debasement reduced the value of Spanish currency. This devaluation caused rapid inflation. Merchants lost confidence in the currency's stability. Merchants began rejecting Spanish money as payment. Spain engaged in borrowing from Italian and German bankers. This borrowing led to a cycle of debt accumulation. Spain faced significant financial strain due to its debt. The country declared bankruptcy multiple times. These bankruptcies occurred in 1557, 1560, 1575, and 1596. This series of defaults highlights a severe debt crisis. Unlimited silver damaged Spain's productive capacity. Manufacturing sectors experienced a decline. Agricultural output also suffered significant losses. This led to an overall reduction in Spain's economic productivity. Spain functioned as a pass-through economy, channeling wealth elsewhere. This economic model saw resources and capital move through Spain. The flow of wealth was largely dependent on silver production. The economy collapsed when silver production declined. Around 1700, Spain experienced a period of significant social decay. Crime rates increased sharply across the country. Madrid saw a surge in the number of beggars, indicating widespread poverty. Brain drain further weakened the nation, leaving Spain an empty shell. By 1900, the British Empire controlled a significant portion of the globe. It governed approximately 25% of the world's total land area. The empire's population was around 400 million people. The British pound sterling functioned as the global reserve currency. This vast reach signified Britain's dominant global position at the time. During World War I, British forces were deployed across 6 continents. This global deployment placed a significant strain on British military resources. Maintaining naval superiority required extensive resource allocation. Naval deployment was crucial for protecting trade routes and colonies. The vast empire necessitated a large and dispersed military presence. Overextension contributed to logistical and financial challenges for Britain. In 1925, Britain returned to the gold standard at an unsustainable exchange rate. This overvalued the pound, making British exports more expensive. Consequently, British exports declined sharply due to decreased competitiveness. The loss of gold reserves further destabilized the British economy. Britain's return to the gold standard led to a surge in unemployment. This policy shift caused significant economic hardship for many. The gold standard aimed to stabilize currency value. However, it made British exports more expensive. Reduced exports led to decreased production and job losses. Unemployment soared as industries struggled to compete. In 1931, Britain made a pivotal decision to abandon the gold standard. This action had an immediate and significant impact on the British pound. The pound experienced a sharp devaluation, losing 25% of its value. This devaluation occurred rapidly, essentially overnight. The sudden drop in the pound's value had repercussions for global trade. The devaluation altered the dynamics of international commerce. World War II had a devastating economic impact on Britain. By 1945, Britain's debt exceeded its entire gross domestic product, GDP. War bonds were a significant source of funding during the war. The immense debt burden weakened Britain's global position. In 1947, Britain lost India, a key part of its empire. The pound sterling experienced a significant decline in value. It fell from $4.03 to approximately $1.27. This drop signals economic challenges for Britain. The decline suggests a shift in global power dynamics. The pound's devaluation reflects Britain's diminished superpower status. After World War II, the USSR emerged as a major global superpower. The Soviet Union rapidly developed a military force. The USSR's military strength matched that of the United States. This military parity was achieved at a significant cost. The Soviet economy was strained by military spending. The economic strain ultimately contributed to the USSR's decline. The Soviet Union allocated 15–20% of its GDP to military spending. This high level of defense expenditure placed a significant burden on the Soviet economy. Such extensive military spending diverted resources from other sectors. This ultimately contributed to economic strain and instability within the USSR. Economic stagnation in the USSR manifested through widespread factory failures. Technological advancement significantly lagged behind Western countries. The USSR became reliant on importing food to meet basic needs. These factors collectively indicated a severe economic downturn. Inefficient factories contributed heavily to the overall economic decline. The Soviet ruble suffered from a chronic lack of public trust. This distrust extended even to Soviet citizens themselves. The lack of confidence in the ruble undermined economic stability. This distrust contributed to the eventual currency failure failure in the USSR. The Eastern Bloc's collapse marked a swift end to Soviet dominance in Eastern Europe. This collapse occurred rapidly, primarily within a single year. The events signaled a significant reduction in Soviet influence and control. The USSR's loss of its Eastern European sphere was a major geopolitical shift. This period reshaped the political landscape of Europe and the global balance of power. The USSR's collapse occurred on the 26th of December 1991. It was not due to invasion or war. Economic failure led to its extinction. The Soviet Union collapsed in approximately 900 days. The US maintains over 750 military bases in 80 countries globally. The US defense budget is approximately $850 billion annually. This extensive global presence indicates potential military overextension. High spending and numerous bases may strain resources and commitments. Since 1971, the US dollar has experienced significant debasement. This debasement is primarily due to the increase in the money supply. Trillions of dollars have been printed, increasing the money supply. As a result, the dollar's purchasing power has decreased substantially. The dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1971. The United States faces a critical debt situation with a national debt of $36 trillion. Annual interest payments on this debt amount to $1 trillion. This combination of high debt and substantial interest indicates a debt spiral. A debt spiral occurs when borrowing is needed to pay interest on existing debt. This cycle can lead to unsustainable debt levels and potential economic instability. Outsourcing manufacturing leads to reliance on foreign supply chains. This dependence can result in a loss of domestic productive capacity. Reduced domestic production impacts economic resilience. Supply chain disruptions can further exacerbate capacity loss. Social decay is indicated by the erosion of fundamental societal structures. A key sign is the collapsing trust in established institutions. Rising crime rates reflect a breakdown in social order and safety. Increased homelessness points to systemic failures in social support. Political chaos and instability further exacerbate social decay. These factors collectively signal a decline in societal well-being. BRICS nations are exploring alternatives to the US dollar's dominance. One strategy involves increasing gold reserves within member countries. Another approach is shifting trade agreements away from using the dollar. These actions aim to reduce reliance on the US currency for international transactions. Economic collapse can be sudden and severe, not always a gradual decline. Historical empires show examples of rapid and violent societal breakdown. The United States, like any nation, is potentially vulnerable to such a collapse. Understanding historical patterns can help prepare for potential economic shocks. Throughout history, empires have shared a common trait: the belief in their uniqueness. However, this belief is often unfounded, as historical patterns reveal striking similarities. Each empire, despite its claims, tends to repeat the mistakes and follow similar trajectories. This universality underscores the cyclical nature of imperial rise and fall. The conviction of being different is a recurring illusion across various empires. Ultimately, history demonstrates that no empire is truly exceptional in its fundamental aspects. Economic patterns are governed by mathematical principles. These patterns are not based on exceptional circumstances. Mathematical patterns emphasize the inevitability of economic laws. Economic outcomes are predictable through mathematical analysis. It's impossible to spend beyond one's means indefinitely. This highlights the critical need for fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility involves managing finances prudently. It ensures long-term financial stability and avoids debt. Maintaining an empire requires robust production capabilities. Production is essential for a strong domestic economy. A strong economy supports imperial ambitions and stability. Adequate production ensures resource availability. Without sufficient production, an empire cannot sustain itself. Devaluing a currency aims to make exports cheaper and imports more expensive. However, currency devaluation often leads to inflation. Increased import costs due to devaluation can push up domestic prices. Inflation erodes purchasing power and can destabilize the economy. The collapse sequence is predetermined. This emphasizes a predictable pattern. The sequence is locked into a specific order. This locked order ensures a consistent outcome. The timeline of collapse is therefore fixed. The collapse will unfold in a set manner. This central question revolves around timing. Specifically, when might a collapse occur? Potential timelines include 10 years or 5 years. It could even happen in less than 5 years. History offers warnings based on the rise and fall of past empires. Past empires' experiences suggest potential future collapse. Studying history can reveal patterns and warning signs. These signs may indicate vulnerabilities in current societies. Understanding these patterns may help avoid repeating past mistakes. Collapse happens rapidly, not gradually. This emphasizes the swift decline. The nature of imperial decline is devastating. The fall is sudden and destructive. It's a fast and catastrophic event. If the video provided value, consider subscribing to the channel. Subscribing helps you stay updated with new content. Subscribing supports the creation of more valuable content. Expect more insights and analysis on this channel. Click the subscribe button to join the community.